this is the first time in American history that two Georgians running for president have been back-to-back talking to their audience. I was comparing notes with Herman Australia. I don't know if you watched it, but the elite media said several weeks ago this was now a two-person race. And Herman and I have decided that may be right, but they had the wrong two people. And it is kind of interesting that the two guys who have gotten the most money have lost the most votes. And the two guys who have the most ideas have gained the most votes. And that might, and I'm only too optimistic, but that might convince the elite media that maybe there is more to politics than fundraising and consultants. And maybe having a heart and a brain actually matters a lot. I think we are in a period of enormous challenge. I think that part of that challenge is Barack Obama, but frankly, I think it's much deeper. We have bureaucracies out of control. We have judges who don't understand the Constitution. We have teachers who don't believe in American history. We have an academic class that is in many ways alienated from American people, and an elite media which frankly I think has no understanding of the origins of the United States and the nation of American civilization. So we have a lot of work to do. Recently I released, and you can see it at big.org, a contract, 21st century contract with America. And it outlines the scale of change. It outlines both a legislative program and it outlines a first aid program of very specific executive orders. I'll give you an example. Imagine about 3:30 or 3:45 on inauguration day, the inaugural address is over, you said goodbye to folks, you take about an hour and a half, and we start signing between 50 and 200 specific orders moving the government away from Obama and back towards the American tradition. You'll see a section, this is open to you. We will release all the executive orders by October the 1st next year, so they'll all be part of the closing month of the campaign. And if the president says it's for a while, we'll put it out and you can sign it. But I don't know what all of them will do, but I'll tell you the first one. Around 3:45 or 4 o'clock, on the afternoon of the inauguration, about the time that President Obama gets to the Andrews Air Force Base and get on Air Force One to go back to Chicago. I will sign Executive Order number 1, which will abolish, as of that moment, every White House truck. Talk about a historic crisis that only indirectly relates to the president. Now, Abraham Lincoln said, if you debate somebody who does not agree that 2 plus 2 equals 4, you probably can't win the argument. There's facts making a difference. And I want to start with that example. Imagine that by a 5-4 vote, the Supreme Court decided 2 plus 2 equals 5. Under the current theory, which the Warren Court promulgated in 1958, the only effective recourse would be either A, that the future Supreme Court reverse it, or B, to pass a constitutional amendment declaring that 2 plus 2 equals 4. Now, I want you to think about the absurdity. Do any of you seriously believe 5 appointed lawyers decided 2 plus 2 equals 5, that the rest of us will come and change our school textbooks, change our system? I mean, some people may, that could well explain Obama's budget system. But obviously this is absurd. It can't possibly be true that the Founding Fathers wrote into the Constitution a very elaborate, complex process of amending the Constitution. Said, however, if the Supreme Court is split 4-4, the liberals and conservatives, and Justice Kennedy gets up to the point, one person in constitutional convention. He gets up and he feels conservative that day, it must be a conservative constitution. He gets up and he feels liberal that day, it must be a liberal. This is absurd. Foisted on us in 1958 by a historic lie. There is no judicial supremacy. It does not exist in America. Judicial supremacy is factually wrong, it is morally wrong, and it is an affront to the American system of self-government. One of the major reasons that I am running for President of the United States is the Ninth Circuit Court decision in 2002 that one nation under God in the Pledge of Allegiance or the Constitution. That decision to me had the same effect that the Dred Scott decision extending slavery to the whole country had made it happen. Because I thought an American appeals court would be so radically out of touch with America that it could seek to block children from saying one nation under God as part of the restriction of America. And we had come to a point when we needed a constitutional crisis to reassert the legislative and executive branches' legitimate prerogatives, to teach the judiciary that they cannot be anti-American and expect us to tolerate them radically changing our society by judicial dictate. What I'm saying to you is in the best tradition of the American Revolution. Read the Declaration of Independence. Very large number of the specific charges against Great Britain involve dictatorial judges. The fact is the Founding Fathers deeply distrusted judges and thought that the lawyer class was dangerous and that you could not give them unbridled power or they would undermine and destroy a free society. Now, this is not some marginal position. Thomas Jefferson, asked about judicial supremacy, said, that is an absurdity. That would be an oligarchy. And so I think we are faced at one of the great crossroads of American life. It's very dangerous because you see, if judges think that they are unchallengeable, they are inevitably corrupt. Corrupted in a moral sense, I don't mean taking money, but I mean in the sense of arrogance, in the sense of imposing on the rest of us. Whether it's one judge in California deciding that he knows more than 8 million Californians about the definition of marriage. Whether it's a judge in San Antonio who rules that not only can school children not say a prayer at their graduation, they cannot use the word benediction, they cannot use the word invocation, they cannot use the word God, they cannot ask God to stand, and if they do any of these things, he will lock up their superintendent. Now, the idea of an American judge becoming a dictator of words is so alien to our tradition and such a violation of our Constitution, as I will explain in a moment, that that particular judge should be removed from office. Lord Acton warned in the 19th century. Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Notice he dropped the word tends. And the courts in the last 53 years have proven that more than that. As with each passing decade, judges have become more hostile to the American tradition. They now openly talk about using foreign sources of information because after all, the American Constitution is so old, so old. Justice who believes that should be serving under the American Constitution. You know, a very lengthy paper, I've worked with years of effort, a number of us, edited by Penn Staley, which we have published this afternoon at Newt.org, which outlines step by step how fundamentally, profoundly ignorant, anti-American current judicial model is. that is taught in virtually every law school in this country. It is profoundly wrong. As Steve King has pointed out, one of the major impediments to trusting democracy is the very behavior of the law schools which teach of usurpation of power in a way that is utterly false. Founding fathers designed our Constitution based on Montesquieu's concept of the balance of power. We're supposed to have three co-equal branches. There can be no supremacy if there are three co-equal branches, by definition. Otherwise, you have a superior branch and two inferior branches. But it's worse than that. If you read Hamilton in the Federalist Papers, he says, the courts couldn't possibly take on the legislative and executive branch because they would inevitably lose. And what do you mean by that? This is, I think, one of the most important things we'll explore over the next year. And because this is a more complicated topic than a 30-second answer during a game show version of a presidential debate,